ACC football kickoff continues. Lane Hurt here with former Seminole quarterback and new ACC Network studio analyst EJ Manuel. EJ, just talk a little bit about getting into this role with the ACC Network. How did that all come about?
Well, once I wasn't with the Raiders last year, I had an audition with the ACC Network. It went well. Then I did another audition later on that year and ended up getting the job in March. But before that, I got signed by Kansas City. So I was able to kind of pick and choose, like, hey, do I want to keep playing football or do I want to start a new career? I spent 2 months with KC, and I loved it. Coach Reed was great. Pat was great. Those guys are going to have an awesome season. But for me personally, I felt like it was time to go ahead and move into the next career path for me. And, you know, these jobs aren't just handed out every year. So to me, it was more of a time of the essence type thing.
Is this something that you're always interested in and we're looking possibly into getting into when you're done playing?
Definitely. I owe a lot of credit to Terrell Buckley, T-Buck. You know, when he was at FSU, he was spending a lot of time with us, and I remember him sitting me down saying, hey, man, you should look into getting, you know, a communications degree. And I was like, well, why? And he said, most quarterbacks, once they finish, whether it's at the college level or the NFL level, they go into TV. So, you know, what better way to practice while you're in school for a job like this?
How exciting is this for the ACC to have the network coming on here in less than a month and to have this opportunity for the conference to showcase all of their sports?
Yeah, I was going to say it's not even really about football or basketball, even though everyone talks about ACC football and basketball. I mean, you got great women's soccer, you got softball, you got baseball, you got swimming, you got golf. There's tons of Olympic sports that don't get the opportunity. You got lacrosse, you know, that don't get the opportunity to be on TV. And with this network, it gives everybody an opportunity to be seen. You know, gives more people exposure. So that who knows what could come from this? You know, new professional leagues might sprout from this. You never know. So that's the best thing about it.
What should we expect from you on the desk? What kind of analyst do you hope to be?
Yeah, I'm mainly hoping to just be knowledgeable. Obviously, I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to be overly critical because I think there's guys that get on TV and they try to make a name for themselves by being overly critical of certain players. But, you know, obviously I have my allegiance to FSU. I want us to do well. But at the same time, now I work for the ACC Network, so I have to be, you know, unbiased to everybody, you know. But I'm just excited about the opportunity.
Speaking of Florida State, how much have you paid attention and kept tabs on the Noles, and what are your thoughts of them heading into fall camp?
Yeah, I think they're looking forward to a great year. You know, obviously it's the second year for Coach Taggart. He had a chance to, you know, recruit and bring in some guys that fit the mold of him. He has a new offensive coordinator in Coach Briles, a guy who's going to bring a high-powered offense, a lot of points. I think if they can get the offensive line rolling, get him on the same page as whichever quarterback, I'm assuming it's going to be James Blackman that's starting, but if they can get him on the same page with the QB, I mean, I think they can be lethal. I mean, you got Scary Terry at receiver, you got all these different guys that can make plays, you got Cam Akers at running back. Obviously the defense is always solid, you got great players over there too, so I'm looking forward to a great year.
What are some of your favorite moments from Florida State?
Man, a lot of favorite moments. I think the biggest one for me was as a freshman or redshirt freshman, getting that last W for Coach Bowden and those last couple wins to help us, you know, get into bowl conference, and then we got the Gator Bowl, played West Virginia, who was a good team at the time too. So that kind of helped start my bowl streak. You know, I was 4-0 in bowls, which is awesome, but that one particularly is something that I'll be able to tell my kids, or, you know, one day when I have children and grandchildren, like, hey man, you see that coach right there, Bobby Bowden, one of the best ever, right? Yeah, I won his last game, you know, so, and I got MVP of that game. So that's one of my little claim to fames, I guess.
As an analyst now, if you had to go back and break down one of your plays from Florida State, what would you choose?
Yeah, there was a play in the Clemson game my senior year, and it was late in the game. This is kind of funny, so it's not as serious as far as analyzing it, but I remember I think I had a bootleg or something. I faked it to Chris Thompson going left, and I came back around to the right, and I had a pulling guard. Might have been Trey Jackson coming around with me. And nobody was over there. You know what I mean? All the Clemson guys that ran to the left side, and it was late in the game. And I remember Jimbo telling us in practice that week, like, hey, if you get a you want to keep the ball so we can keep possession so Clemson doesn't get a chance to get the ball back to score again. So unselfishly, I slid, and I really could have had another touchdown run. But I think that was one of the best games of my career. I think I threw for like 380 and rushed for 100 something too. But that was one of those plays. If I could go back, I probably would have went ahead and scored. Like, why not?
Well, what would analyst EJ Manuel say about that play?
Yeah, well, that was a very unselfish play. That was a very that was a wise play, and a senior should make that type of play. I remember there's a clip of Peyton Manning doing the same thing, coming out on a bootleg and sliding. So, I think that probably did help. Once I was going to the NFL, coaches knew that, hey, this guy's not selfish. It's not all about stats. But looking back on it now, I wish I could have had, another touchdown or two to my stat list. But, yeah.
All right, there you have it, Seminole fans. You can watch EJ Manuel on the network. If your provider does not carry it, make sure you contact them now.
Please do it now. Do it now.
Turn those screws, put the pressure on so you can watch everything, especially your Noles, on the network. For EJ, I'm Lane. Go Noles.
Sir, go Noles.